Okay, my friends, I just put up a video, this one here, about the people claiming that Devil's Tower was a tree. It is not a tree. I can explain exactly what it is, and I did. But I got cut off somewhere. Something happened. I didn't go fully. So I'm going to continue that today. However, before we get into that, I want to. Somebody asked about mica. Where does mica come from? Well, here's where mica comes from. Okay, my friends, question of the day is, what is mica? Well, what does a hair follicle have to do with mica? I will explain. This is also a hair follicle. This is where the muscle attaches right there up to the skin so that your hair can do all that stuff, stand up on end. This is the sebaceous gland. You see it right there? You see that gland? It's not really way up there, it's right down here. So anatomically this is not exactly what this is, and I think this is what it is, really truly is. I think they have it wrong, because everywhere I've seen it's right here. Now this may be from some kind of an alligator or something, I don't know what it's from, but it's a hair follicle. And there's the hair coming right off, and there's the blood supplies at the bottom. There's no question what it is. My point is, you see the size of this thing? This is, I think I figured it out to be about 500 times bigger than a normal average person's hair follicle, at least. And that, now I'm going to show you what mica is. And mica is nothing but flakes of skin. Now this is skin. That's skin. I'm telling you, the creatures that were here, I can't explain it, but all I can say is they were written down in history and they were here. This is nothing more than some kind of flexible fabric skin. Basically what you're looking at is something along this line. This is called from the eye of science. And these are hairs, and this is just skin. It's a very, very slippery, these are facial hairs and a facial skin. The very fine clays are made from fine skin. That's what slip clay is. It's made of fine skin. It's kaolin clays, I'll show you. These are the colors of creatures, the brown, the white, the greenish, brown, you know. And these are the slip clays of kaolin clay. Now there's some kaolin there. Now they call it kaolin, kaolin, doesn't matter. But there's the blood that's inside that slip skin. There's not much blood in the slip skin. You got to get down inside to the flesh where the blood is. This is just more than, it's mud. Alright, this is nothing more than hair coming out of the slip skin clay that is your face. All of those little layers turn into the mica. And this stuff is just, once you get it wet and slippery and everything, if it fixes in place, it turns into the mica with all the separations between. But if you just slurp that up, you'd have just a big sloppy mix. And that's, when you wash your face, that's what happens. You turn this stuff into mud. Basically, that's what happens when you wash your face. Okay, let's just start from the top. This is mica. Everybody pretty much knows what mica is. They're very, very, very thin. You can see right through them. Now, what really is mica? It is slip skin. And it's basically this kind of a skin. This is from Eye of Science. Now, what, you know, boy, this is a tough thing to talk about, because this is also these slip clays, slip skin, mica, and these are extremely, obviously, very, very magnified. But it all comes out of this kind of layering. You see how many layers are in there? It's absolutely unbelievable. And this is just like mud. I think at some point I say that when you wash your face, you're just washing mud off your face, because that's what your face is made out of, is mud, literally. And this is what the clays are, and these are the fine skin clays of your face. This is what these little blocks are made of. You see these little blocks here? This is deep inside the muscle tissue. Let me show you something that it's hard to believe, but it is true. Let's find the best shot here. Well, these pull in like this. That's what muscles do. And each block is called a sarcomere. And these are what our sarcomeres look like. Where are they? Where are you? Here they are. This is what sarcomeres are. Now, in your muscle fibers, when they pull like this, each one of those little blocks pulls in. And what happens is the white goes into the red. The white is the connective tissue. The red is the actual muscle that can contract. And this is what it looks like contracted. This is what it looks like before it pinches in. And this shows that these muscle fibers can line this way. They can line perfectly straight next to each other. Some of them can pull in, some of them don't pull in. But eventually you get down to this point where that's a contracted muscle. Now see, this is muscle cut. Every one of those is these little sarcomeres. And this is fresh muscle. When it dries out and all of the red stuff runs out, all you have is these little white stripes of connective tissue, which is not the red gooey stuff that can run out. And you end up with all these little stripes of connective tissues. Okay, these are located in your stomach. And these are the cells that make up the cell walls. This guy's walking on these cells. Now, you say, oh, Roger, you must be crazy. No, I'm not, because here they are right here. And these, if you can see, the same little bumps in those that guy was walking on. Only these are fresh and alive. The other one has been laying around for who knows where, for how long. It's the Vermilion Cliffs, I believe, was the name of this place where the guy is walking on it. Right there. It's the same, exact same things. And I mean, this stuff is everywhere. It is no denying it anymore. There's just avoiding it. Now, just so you understand, I'm not saying that there's just a muscle here and a muscle there, here and there. No, everything that I can find is from biology. This is Petra. This is biological tissue. This is the sarcomeres right here. This is the treasury. Now look, I'm going to show you up close and personal. This is Petra right up here. This is the sarcomeres. You see these little blocks? These are the sarcomeres, the black and the white. And they carved this, which was nothing more than blood. Literally, it was an artery. And they were right in the crook of an artery. I got it around here somewhere. But this is inside the treasury. This is all connective tissue and blood and all the same stuff I'm showing you. You see, this is Petra. These were veins, or arteries, I'm sorry. They would be red arteries. This is muscle tissue, and they carved right where the blood was gushing out here. They carved right into a blood supply. So that's why it's all nice and red and mud, because that's what blood is. These are all the sarcomeres I showed you before. If you can see, let me come in close. That's what they are. Those are the sarcomeres. And they chopped it right out of somebody's body, some creature's body. This stuff was just, I cannot explain what they ate. I don't know what kind of games they played. I don't know, if they went out on dates. I have no idea. All I'm telling you is this is muscle tissue. This is the artery vein, or artery blood supply area that is just eroded away now. And we're dealing with biology. It's the entire universe as far as I can determine. Everything that's come through space that I have examined, 100% is still biology. Even iron meteorites. Okay, I'm going to leave it at this. A History Channel, all of them, they look at these things and, oh, this must have happened, that must have happened. Nobody will take into account the mud fossil evidence. This is sarcomeres. This is just a giant blood vessel. Okay, this ran a little longer than I suspected, so this is what it is. This is muscle and sarcomeres and blood vessels, and it's bodily tissue. The creatures were absolutely stupendously enormous. Now, as I said before, I think I mentioned I was going to go back and finish up on Devil's Tower, which I will do. Not in this video, but in the next one, because Devil's Tower is not a tree, it's not magma, it is a tendon. And I have found the other foot, that's a foot, a tendon from a foot. And that's all that's left, because that's the very, very hard stuff. This stuff runs away. This is muddy. Tendon is a whole different issue. Tendon is that white limestone, really hard basalt, that type of thing. This is a bloody, muddy, fleshy. And they just had a really bad flood through here the other day, and you could see that people were getting washed down through here, through these arteries. So the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up, and like I say, I did find the second foot, and I've been talking with people that live in that area and agree. They say, yeah, we always wondered about this spearfish formation, about this and about that, and I explained it, and they agree. So let me go back and finish up on that one, and I apologize that it got cut short, but I will make it right. Thank you. And again, I love you all. You know, I tell you, even iron meteorites coming through space are body parts. That is a lung. This is also a lung from Earth. Same thing. And inside there are blood vessels. If you can see right down in there, I don't know if you can or not, but there's a little blood vessel right down in there, that little red one. You see it? That little red spot? I think you can see that. That is literally part of the alveoli, air passages through all of those little cavities. When that came through space, instead of being like this on Earth, all of the red blood burnt up, all the cheap stuff, and you ended up with iron. Red blood is iron. That's what these are, iron. So all it is. Now, what I showed you a second ago was like all these little cavities, which are alveoli. This, I believe, is a heart or a liver. That is the vein, and that's the artery. You see how red the artery is? What's it doing in the middle of an iron meteorite? Well, a heart is just 100% blood, just about. So you have entries, you have to get inside and come back. So you have artery and you have veins. Now, was that a heart? I'm not sure. It could have been a heart. I don't think it's a lung, because lungs end up having all these holes in them. And I have another, this is an iron meteorite lung here. And they have all the holes in it because they were lungs. They have alveoli. That is packed with blood. Now, what is it, a heart or was it a liver? That's the way I would go with that. But regardless, everything in space, coming through space, as far as I could determine, I haven't found one thing that I would say is not a body part. And most of this stuff can be tested. You could test that blood. I guarantee you could test that blood and see what it was. And every meteorite has it, so don't tell me they don't have it. Okay, I just want to mention that Mud Fossil University is back up on Facebook. There's only like 50 members so far. I just opened it up the other day. And you'll be able to post your stuff and show your stuff there. And hopefully people start to learn what's really going on. Thank you.